All right, you people have just seen a clip from Safe, starring Jason Statham as, well, what is he? He's like the hard-ass cop in New York City. They say once upon a time in the trailer, so he's had some tough times. And he's here, Jason, welcome, to tell us what this guy Luke Wright, I mean, his name is Wright, so he's like Mr. Wright. Yeah. What bad times did he have?
Well, he's a man who's basically at a point where he's just about to throw in the towel. I mean, he's had his wife's been taken away from him, and his whole world has been crumbled.
That pisses people off.
Yes, it's a very difficult spot to start from. So he's in a place where he has a moment where, to his own demise, he sees a girl that he feels that he can help. And by helping her, he inadvertently helps himself.
Well, Jason, you've done something that everybody warns every actor against when you do this movie. You actually put yourself in scenes with a 12-year-old girl. What? Are you crazy? Did somebody not do an intervention with you? I mean, this is, you know, she's a scene stealer.
She is a scene stealer, yeah. And this is the first time she's been in front of a camera, so she's going to be doing much more of this, I'm sure.
How did that work when somebody has no experience and you're coming in and it's a child?
The thing about someone who hasn't been in front of a camera before, they don't have any sort of bad habits, so she just comes so innocently to the day's work. And, you know, it's very spontaneous and it's very natural and real.
We're seeing this vulnerable side to you.
Yeah, and I don't often get that. I'm always playing something that is a little thin in some ways in terms of, you know, the emotional sort of journey that I have to go on. You know, Boaz was really keen to make a genre picture that has all the frills and the sparkle of a very, you know, typical action movie. Mm-hmm. You know, the bad guys and the triads and the Russian mob, and there are a lot of cliches, but they all work really well within this, you know, very heartful story.
Okay.
Let's go.
I'm not 5 years old.
And keep up.
What a bastard. Just walk off and leave him. What? God,
well, you wanted that relationship to be very adult and grown up. I think when you have you know, a young kid behaving like an adult and, and you know, I think there's something more endearing about her. Usually kids have a particular way of behaving, and if the more grown up they are, the more interested we are as adults to watch that, I feel.
Right, let's sort the buyers from the spires, the needy from the greedy, and those who trust me from the ones who don't. Because if you can't see value here today, you're not up here shopping, you're up here shoplifting.
I think right about the first time I saw you in a movie, which is Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
Yeah, a long time ago.
First, credit sequence.
Yeah.
You are out there grifting, selling crap to people for doing that. Now, I understand this comes from life.
That's correct, yeah. I did that for years, and you know, to call it a family business, I suppose. My dad had a mock auction when I was growing up at school, and I learnt the trade of, you know, how to pull a pitch and how to hold a crowd, and you know, I then went into it myself when I left school. The first thing I did, even when I was 12 years old, I used to work. You know, I used to work with a briefcase outside my dad's shop, which was you know, quite a thriving seaside town at the time, over in England. And you know, I used to earn my summer season, sort of my holiday from my school, was a chance for me to earn a fair amount of cash. And so when I left school, I'd already had several years of experience.
But what were you selling? You were selling jewelry?
Well, I used to sell jewelry. It was like a set of chains, and you'd work it in a way that people used to think it was either stolen or you'd got it from an unsavoury way.
I think I bought so many things.
And I used to work perfume as well, you know. But the majority of my income came from jewelry.
But Jason, it seems like it's this great con. It's just this great thing. You're selling them this. Did you ever feel any guilt about it?
Nah. Because we're not holding guns to people's heads and saying, get your money out. It's, we're giving something that people can either walk away or they can buy a bargain if they want to.
Did Guy Ritchie see you doing this at one time and say, I want him in my movie? How did this happen?
I particularly was keen to show him what I did.
I see.
we met up, and the next thing you know, he wanted me to prepare an audition. And in that audition, he said, why don't you bring a few chains, the stuff that you used to sell, and we'll just, keep the camera running and do it the way that you do it when you're on the street. So we did that, and that became part of the audition.
Drop your guns!
I got the 4 on the left.
Why don't you take the 2 on the right and leave the rest?
You're not that fast anymore.
Oh, here we go.
The only thing faster is...
Light.
Exactly.
We'll see.
What about the action people that you watched? Who were your heroes of that?
I've always been a big fan of martial arts. So Bruce Lee and all the movies that he's made was very influential on me trying to do something along those lines at some point. But in terms of, real hard, sort of typical action movies that we've all loved, like Rocky and Rambo, and, to bring our friend Sylvester Stallone into the frame, it's very difficult to talk about action movies and not mention the man. So, but also, like Arnold has made so many terrific, great action films, and Bruce Willis and Mel Gibson.
Jet Li, who you've worked
with. Jet Li, who I've worked with, a few times as well.
What do you talk about with these guys?
That's none of your business.
Well, it sounds like it was good then. If it isn't my business, there must be something.
They're just, Stallone is just he's a regular guy, and he's got, we talk about anything. It's not just about the movie. It's.
Oh no, I wouldn't mean it was just.
Yeah.
I just think it could come up.
Yeah.
How'd you do that when you did that movie? That kind of thing.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, there's moments where that comes up. Yeah, you would be right in saying that. But sometimes people don't respond too well to compliments, and if you're constantly saying how great it's a touchy subject to be complimentary about things.
I think it's just as touchy if you said, "Boy, you sucked."
Yeah,
in that last movie.
But,
that
some
wouldn't be
people know
good either. Yeah.
If they've been in a bad movie, they know it.
They don't need to
I'm
be
speaking from
reminded.
experience here.
It doesn't always have to be a kind of a fun where it's easy fun. It can be scary fun. But I think you can get your adrenaline going, or you feel like you're grappling with some ideas or some themes that are like, oh, how are we going to walk that line? How are we going to walk that edge? And it gets exciting.